It's like when we lay there and she rides on top, right? You're like, yeah, now I get to enjoy the full benefits while she gets the fucking Charlie horse for a change.
All right, what are we talking about today? The riveting best presidential debates that Tim Walz won? The Iran-Israel war? Amazon workers going on strike?
What about the port workers going on strike?
Ports working going on strike?
The longshoremen.
Well, me and Juan were just talking about that, and we
Well,
we
Kevin
were
was
we
talking
already
about it.
concluded that.
Juan was listening.
I was just listening.
Well,
You see, Kevin, a conversation is when two people take turns speaking to each other and listening.
Look, all I'm going to say about it is I wish we would just stop using terms that don't adequately describe situations. It's a strike sounds so romantic. A strike sounds like valiant people standing up fighting for their rights like they like
Like
it's
the
a
Beastie Boys.
yeah, I mean like they make it sound like they're in like Victorian England working in like some soot factory like canning soups and desperately trying not to die in the coal mines, right? In reality, we should just call it what it really is, a hostage negotiation. They are taking businesses hostage. They're taking consumer. We're the hostages. The consumers are the hostages. And they're basically saying, you want your supplies, you want your food, you want your products, you want your stuff that you need to buy. Well, then you got to give us what we want, or we'll fuck up the whole economy, baby.
Hey, you know what's funny about the guy? I don't remember his name. The head of that union. He's over here giving speeches, right, to the media, and while he's wearing like Cartier sunglasses and like a gold chain, fucking Rolex, but he has the audacity to lecture us, on that they're not getting that CEOs are making millions, but I mean, you don't seem to be doing too bad yourself there, buddy.
He's doing the exact same thing the CEOs are, and that's what people. This is what I mean. Like people, I don't know. People just don't think enough about stuff, or they don't care, or is it like the average person doesn't have like the capacity for critical thinking or examining. Basically, the like union bosses, they're just the same thing as CEOs. When the CEOs are sitting there talking about, well, it's been a tight year and our budgets and this and that, and business is tough and the economy is rough, and we had to have layoffs because of this reason or that reason. But they make like, they just made, $50 million in bonuses. You know what I mean? Like, but they're talking about how we all have to tighten the belt. Like, we remember when you and I used to work at that one place, and like we'd hear like the Sandlers would come to visit, or they'd be talking about something, and they'd be talking to us like they're one of us. Yeah, it's been a lean year for all of us. I know many of us had to tighten the belt. Motherfucker, you made $50 million last year. There's no tightness for you.
But this is the whole thing that I was talking about during one of our first episodes is people are okay being led by some sort of authoritarian figure as long as it benefits them, right? That's the same thing with unions. Unions is one dude or several people making all the decisions for the union. And if you go outside that union, you can get reprimanded or blacklisted or whatever they do to you. But people are okay with this because this dude has their best interests in mind, according to them.
What pisses me off though is this guy is preaching while he makes $900,000 a year. This motherfucker out there being all angry makes 900 grand, dude.
Just like religion.
But
I
he's
guess
not.
that's
But
the
he's
formula.
not. But he's not angry.
Well, no, he's probably not. It's all a show.
Yeah, again, it's the whole political system. It's the same thing in the union, right? It's just some dude who is putting on a show for a bunch of freaking people that he doesn't give a shit about.
so that he can benefit. Again, people representing you and your best interests, living their best life while talking about how they're trying to enable you to possibly maybe have your best life down there at the bottom.
Do
You
you
know, the thing about they don't think about. I was telling, I was talking about this earlier with one off set. Um, when these people do like when their strike happens, and it causes everything to skyrocket in cost, and we have this mass inflation in the price of goods, right? And everybody's struggling because they've shut down the docks and got in these nobody's able to get these goods into our country, right? When they do finally settle, when they give in to the hostage negotiation, because that's what it becomes, right? One, prices are never going to come back to what they were pre, strike damage, right? The damage is done, but all of those people who just got their raises or whatever benefits they wanted, they're going to be affected by those same prices. They're going to have to pay the higher prices on, $10 for a fucking thing of bananas like everybody else because they screwed with the system. Plus, all that backlog of work, are they going to work harder to like catch up? Because all that stuff shipping in has not stopped. No one said, whoa, 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 whoa. They're about to have a strike in a few days. So everybody over here gathering crops or whatever that we're shipping to the US, the soybeans or whatever the hell they're doing, don't make no. Nobody said stop making TVs, man. The union in America is about to have a strike. We don't want to be shipping the TVs in case they have a strike, and we're going to have all these ships, lined up at the ports. It's going to be backed up. They're not thinking that way. All this stuff is still being manufactured and trying to be brought in. So they're going to create a bottleneck, and then they're going to complain about how overworked they are.
and then go on strike again?
Yeah,
You
and then
bored
complain
Juan.
about and then complain because now they're paying, you know, $15 for a cup of coffee.
What's like California on their minimum wage?
Yeah. Well, the people at minimum wage are not going to be able to afford their living anymore at $15 an hour because now everything's going to go up again.
You know what the problem? You know what the problem with this topic is?
We're all poor and
Who
Betho's
cares?
rich.
Like, who cares? It's
Yeah.
it's like it's like the Amazon and the people striking, and people get all like uppity and oh
Well,
why they
Amazon's
call their bluff.
different.
Hold on, they call their bluff and all. It's like who cares?
I
Why does
care.
anybody care what Amazon and its workers are doing? I got shit to do this morning
Well, we care because it ultimately it impacts us. Like, I
because
desperately
we got a
need a new.
podcast.
I need a new. Look at this. Look at my setup. I need a new camera
You can't look
for
at
the
yourself.
podcast. I need backlighting, and I can't buy it on Amazon because these assholes want to increase the cost and force strikes. Where are my packages? I ordered a package of sausages that was supposed to be overnighted to me. These frozen sausages from Mississippi. They're supposed to be delivered yesterday, and they did not arrive.
But they don't want to increase your prices. They want to decrease your prices.
No, they don't.
Ooh,
The Amazon workers, they don't want to go back to the office. So that means Amazon can get rid of all that commercial building that they're renting or sell it if they own it, and they can just work from home. Less overhead.
No, because those people they're not being as productive as they would be in the office. What you're talking about is trading the office space for
See,
unproductive. Plus, Amazon
I
owns their buildings.
no
They don't have
no
to
no
worry about
no.
paying for
I,
that
I
stuff.
think that's bullshit, man. I mean, we all talk about when we go to work, you go work in a real office, and except for a select few, most people come in, they stand around, they walk around saying hi to their friends, go grab a cup of
Yeah, but we're
coffee,
still
grab a donut.
that's not as bad though as the people working from home.
They
yeah,
go
it's
on a
nowhere
smoke
near
break.
because it depends on it depends on your boss and employer. It depends on where you are. Beto and I remember going into the office, trudging in there. We'd sit there. Yeah, I might go get like a snack, get whatever. but you know what's up when you're being watched, right? It's the same thing as parents and kids, right? When you're not around, your kids act different than when there's an adult nearby. When there's an adult nearby, you tend to behave a little different.
That's
Same
not
difference.
true. You just fucking told Beto in the chat that when you were a little kid, you would go and play quietly in your room because you didn't want to wake your dad up. Now you're saying that now you can't be trusted in your own room?
No, I'm saying I played quietly because I knew he was nearby.
He
I knew
played
he was.
quietly because he knew his dad would beat his ass.
Yeah.
Just like if you went into the office, you'd at least pretend to work because otherwise your boss would beat
No.
your ass.
Look, you're telling me Amazon can't track people working or not? The problem isn't
No,
that they're
they
not at
can.
hold
No,
on,
and
hold
then
on,
they'll
hold on.
whine and complain
Hold on.
about being tracked.
In you guys' analogy, then Amazon shouldn't call them back to the office. They should just fire unproductive people. That's the equivalent of getting your ass beat, right?
Yeah, but then they'll complain about, well, first off, there's ways around. You've never heard of like the mouse jiggler apps and all this shit. They're popular for a reason. Is
Yeah,
they
but
help.
output still matters, right? So put output like if you don't have any output, if I'm asking here's the thing, if I'm asking you for something and it's due on Friday and you don't give it to me on Friday, then I fire you.
Well, the other thing, there's two additional things that bother me is one is availability. Like if when people are remote, they tend to go do shit, run errands, whatever. But if we're a 9 to 5, I should be able to call you and you fucking answer if it's between 9 and 5. But what happens? They don't answer. And then you're like calling and they don't answer. And then you know what I mean? Like that's one. You wouldn't do that shit if you were in the office. If you were in the office and I need something from you, I walk over to your desk and I fucking get it from you, right? And then fuck, I forgot my second point. Oh yeah, yeah. The second one was that you and I just proved this past week you were here is collaboration. Collaboration, it's not the same, and you I know you have to agree with this because we've just experienced it. When you need to collaborate on a project, and in our what we were working on, it's just easier and better in person. We even agreed that we said, "Oh, we couldn't have done that over the phone."
Yeah, but there's a difference between full-time work in an office and just getting meeting up to collaborate.
But you should be collaborating on a daily basis if you want to get better.
I we both worked in the same place in an IT place. And those guys would meet in the morning, talk about what they're doing, and each go off and do their own shit because they're all doing different code. And then if they needed to talk, they would come and talk. But there's no difference between that and just talking on the phone at that
There
point.
absolutely is a difference. I can tell you as a programmer, it's not the same me meeting with you on Skype or me going over over your shoulder and you showing me how to do something. It's
Not
completely
even that, but
not the same thing.
let's be honest, right? We've all worked from home. I'm assuming everybody here has had the privilege of working from home at some point in their career. And let's be real. We all know secretly that you do have a lot of distractions at home. I will be the first, I'll be honest. If nobody else wants to be honest about it, I'll admit when I'm at home, there's just more distractions than when I'm
Yep.
working in the office. In the office,
Javi,
I'll
at
hit a zone or do
Javi,
whatever.
at this point right now, Javi, I want you to put a Pornhub image up when you're editing the video.
But it's true. I mean, and it's not just that, it's just little things. Like I feel that you feel you can take more time with stuff. You have the TV on in the background. It's a distraction, right? At work, granted, I might put on like my headphones and I'd get to I start working. When I was in IT, same thing. I do my job, right? At my current job, I do my job when I'm at work, and it's not necessarily because the bosses may walk in anytime. Although that is a consideration, I'm not going to be fucking around when I know that the boss, like me and Beto, like I said, we work cubicles apart from each other. But there'd be that time when somebody would walk through and you'd be like, "Oh shit!" At least
Yep.
look busy, right?
Yep.
At least give you, at
So what
least
you're
Yeah.
give you
saying is, so what you're saying is, at home you're not busy, at work you're not busy, but you can at least look busy.
Well, no,
exactly.
the reality is like when somebody would walk by and you're fucking around, you actually get back to work because you don't want them to walk back around again and you're still not fucking working. You know
Well,
what I mean?
because yeah, also they can see what you're doing, right? And even if people doesn't say anything, remember how you were talking about you didn't hit that deadline? If you don't hit that deadline, it's not just, well, I got excuses, right? They're gonna be like, nah, I was walking by and I saw you, sitting there on fucking IGN arguing on a forum or on Twitter or whatever, or messing around with your phone instead of working on, because now they have visual confirmation. When you're outside of somebody's view, when you're at home, you can make any excuse for why you didn't complete the
Oh, dude,
project.
I've heard them all. I've heard them
The
all. The I
power
was
went
in the
out. Yeah, my
restroom.
hard drive crashed.
Every time, how is it every time I call, you're taking a shit? You know what I mean?
Hey
Or
man, because
every time I
when
call,
you're
your
at
phone was
home,
on silent. Like
when you're at
every
home, you eat
fucking
more.
time, dude. Huh?
When you're at home, you eat more.
Well, there you go. Eating distraction. That's another one.
Yep. That
Now
you're
you're
just
eating
proving our
more. You're
point.
putting on weight.
Well, I'm not proving your point. What
Yeah,
I'm
you
saying,
are.
no, what I'm saying is there's ways to allow people to work from home. Like he
Well, here's the thing. They're not saying a lot of companies too are looking at a hybrid system, right? You're right. There are ways to allow some people to work from home, but not everybody, and not because you demand it. And going to a company and going, "We're all going to quit unless you let us work from home." Fine, motherfucker, go.
but this is kind of
You're
where I
telling
was
me you're telling me there's that many jobs out there that you guys can quit because you want to be able to stay at home with your fucking dogs and cats and sit there and make TikTok videos when you should be fucking working, and then
this is
claim that.
this is kind of what I was talking about last night when I was talking about medical paid leave at companies. And Beto kept on saying, "No, man, like you can't make the business." I'm like, I'm not. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, you don't have to be to one extreme or the other. You don't have to be a Democrat who requires businesses to completely pay for everything or increase taxes, and you don't have to be the Republican who says, "No, we're not even going to pay for any medical pay leave. You fucking know what you got yourself into. You should have had insurance." Like, there's a way smart people, maybe I'm not as smart or I've never thought about it, but there's a way that we can come up with a system that benefits both parties.
But there's already companies that offer that because they can afford it. That's already a thing. That's nothing new. I had medical leave when I had my kids because I worked for a large fucking corporation, but you can't expect me, as small as I am, to be
Again,
offer the same benefit, dude.
again, you're bringing you and
But why
your
not
company.
let the companies decide, and then you as an employee decide whether you want to work for that company or not?
Well, that's that
That's what
capitalism
I'm trying to
language.
get to. Like, you are trying to see it from a very narrow point of view of why should I do this and why should the company not decide? It's like, I'm not telling you that this has to be a socialist society. What I'm saying is there's enough smart people in government, in business, in the world out there of health and medicine and insurance and prescription drugs that if they just got together and truly cared about people, they would come up with a solution that benefits both the company, the government, the health industry, and the person. That's all I'm saying. Right now, we're so divided that they can't even get to the point of talking to each other. It's fuck you, it's my business. I do what I want. You fucking go fucking find another job. Or no, we're gonna make the business pay for it, or they're gonna get some sort of penalty, and the government's gonna raise tax. It's like it's so divided. All I'm saying is that if those same fucking people came together with the same passion they have to get fucking elected off of fucking narratives and fucking video clips, this world would be better. Like, you can't tell me that there's not 30 smart people out there in business, health, and politics and policy that they can't come up with a solution where everybody would benefit from some sort of decent healthcare system that allows people in low income places to get the help they need while still helping business. That's all I'm
I'll
saying.
tell you, I'll tell you what it is. It's it's not. I don't think it's division. I think it's universal greed, right? Because everybody, every let everybody, because I know everybody's ready to take their side and be like, yeah, those guys. Everybody always wants to be on top, right? They always have to have an advantage. It
I've known
can't
a lot
be.
of bottoms
It,
in my day. I have
but
a lot of
people,
gay friends, man. There a lot of them are bottoms. They don't wanna be on
well,
top.
but even then, if you're on the bottom, you're still in control in some ways, right?
I mean, I suppose they could squeeze a sphincter in the butt
Yeah,
cheeks.
yeah. And you're not expending as much energy. So look, guess who has the advantage again? Now you're just. It's like when we lay there and she rides on top, right? You're like, yeah. Now I get to enjoy the full benefits while she gets the fucking Charlie horse for a change. But like Juan said, these companies, the employees, everybody should be able to come together and be like, hey, we need to like find a solution, right? We're all smart. But it goes back to what we were saying, 15 minutes ago about the longshoreman situation. It's not about these are not negotiate. It's not even it's a hostage negotiation. It's not negotiation for riots. It's not a strike. It's a hostage negotiation. And that's how all these situations are. Everybody wants. Nobody wants to give. Same thing, Israel and Lebanon, and oh no, World War III is about to happen because nobody fucking wants to give. Nobody wants to say, all right, you know what? I'm going to be the bigger man here and take a little less. Can you at least come forward then a little bit and see what we can give? Everybody's like, no, I want to be at no matter what we argue over, I got to be the top. I
It's
got to
got to
be the
be all.
one.
It's always all or nothing. It's an all or
Yeah,
nothing
that too.
political system that I'm just so fucking tired of. And like I said last night, we are talking about him, but those like, yeah, but you hate Trump. I'm like, I also hate Walz and like Harris and like they can't fucking compromise. And I'm just so tired of that political style of American politics that we have today. Like we sat down at a bar and we figured out how to somewhat work with immigration, did we not? We've talked about before about, free college and free tuition, and we've all agreed on things like, well, maybe if you're going into a critical field that then requires you to work in that critical field for a certain amount of time, maybe we can work with something like that. But no, Democrats want all fucking free college, and Republicans no fucking free college, and nobody fucking budges. Nobody comes to the center and goes, you know what? Let's talk about it and see how we can help some people get an education in a field that we need.
And then
That's
everybody
it.
bitches about student loans, but nobody does anything about it, right?
Boy,
Like
nobody
again,
and
the same.
nobody and nobody either. Not does nobody. They don't do anything about the loans, but they also don't do anything about the root causes of it.
Well, no, that's
Like,
what I mean is that like I'm adding on to what you were saying. Then they go like no free college for anybody on the right, right? And then on the left, everybody should have free college. But then when they get to the subject of student loans, it's no, if you take those loans, you need to pay them back yourself. Well, you didn't give anybody an option, right? Like you didn't even talk about giving an option to find a solution. And you're absolutely right. Our government creates problems that then it argues over solving itself that nobody does. And we've talked about that on the podcast. How all these people sit here, and I know Vance even brought it up in his thing. He's like, people stop blaming Trump for the past 3 years. He hasn't been in office for 3 years, right? But the same difference when the Republicans get in office, the first thing they do is they blame the last administration, but he's not there. But you could also do things now.
yeah, they both do that. When the Democrats are in office, if it's a bad economy, it's always, well, statistically, the last administration, controls the first part of this administration's economy. But when the economy goes fucking up, up, and up, as soon as they get into office, oh, we did it. Well, which one is it? Did you do it at the beginning, or was it just remnants of the last people?
Same thing with Trump. Oh, we had the largest, we so huge. They eradicated it. No, you're sure? Because in the first 6 months don't sound like something that would happen, right? Sounds like some of those Obama like things kind of worked out for you, is what it sounds like to me. And they had advantages. Just like when they were talking about Trump, they always blame Trump for COVID, right? But wasn't it the left that were the ones arguing over shutting everything down? And weren't they the ones arguing over wearing masks? And then the right were the people that were talking about wearing masks and you're stupid. And now it's kind of reversed. You see what I'm saying? Remember when Trump he fast tracked a vaccine and all the people on the left were like, fuck no, I ain't taking no vaccine in my body, getting the herpes and autism and whatever and tracking chips. And then all of a sudden, shit flipped, and they were like, "You must get a vaccine. You required vaccines. Everybody line up and get the vaccine." They're still out here promoting it, right? On TV, you got all the superstars now and the athletes out here. Make sure you get your new vaccine for the new COVID this year. It's very important. So these people sit and do the same thing, and they switch sides. All they want to do is keep arguing. They keep us at battle. The one thing I will say that I was impressed with, or that I did like about the debate last night in regards to the vice president debate, is how they at least were cordial. I like how they seem to respect each other. Like at some point, Waltz and Vance both said things like, "You know what? You did do something right on that, and I will give you credit for that." Or something like that. And I agree with you on this issue, or I agree. And I'm like, there you go. So if you guys can stand there on that stage and lick each other's assholes at least once over something, why can't you guys do it like
I did
again?
appreciate that. I did it. No, I
No,
mean,
no,
like, not the asshole licking, but
no, seriously. Like I wanted to know what you guys thought about it. So I'll let Beto talk. But what did you guys think about a more civil debate?
I liked the the niceness of it. Like, I did enjoy that a little bit. Like, it's go at each other and be like, "Hey, I agree with you on this. We don't all disagree on everything." It's like you guys. I mean, I can fight with you guys, but we still agree on a lot of shit.
Well,
Well,
So
matter of
it's like
fact,
I
maybe
always say about
forever.
politicians. Fundamentally, we all agree on what we want, right? It's just most of the time it's how to get to that place. Like fundamentally, we all want America to be a better educated society.
mhm.
How do you get there is where we disagree.
I think people get going back to what you were just asking. One thing I did notice is the number one thing I saw about the debate last night was not as much who won, who lost, who lied, the fact checkers, the fixes in. People were like, it was boring, and that to me is the most problematic, like walk away, right? Where people are like, the debate was just so boring. Now, in our case, I admit, I think I even might have said like it is kind of dull, but it's dull from the standpoint that we pay attention to a lot of this politics stuff. You fans don't see this yet because we don't have any Patreon fans subscribing. And if you subscribe, you get to see all the back. We give you access to our back conversations and all that stuff as a preview. But for you normal people who are just watching, which is mainly just like
You
me, because I'm
peasants.
the one who ever rewatches our videos, that we pay attention to politics and we discuss things all the time and as we prepare for the show. Okay, we try and get a little preparation going. And that's where Beto was talking about how we tend to, like, we can argue about stuff and still at the end of the day come to an agreement. Well, we're bored because nobody's saying anything new, right? Like it's all the same. The same stuff has been going over. And I asked Juan this earlier. I wish we could just have the election right now. I'm tired of it. I wish the election would have we had a short election time, right? Like I would push to like from now on, the election begins from primaries to election 2 months. It should start like at the beginning of September. All right, here's your nominees. By end of September, both sides have their primary candidate, right? You have one debate at the beginning of October, and then by November, you know, by November, election day. And that's it. The election should only be 2 months, not 2 years, not 6 months, not 9 months. It's just exhausting. I'm just exhausted with it
Well, yeah,
and
but it's
bored.
never it's never gonna. We can talk about all the solutions, but it's never gonna change.
But then people are also bored. But what I'm saying is people then get bored because they're like, but their version of boring is it's not a sporting event, right? Like I was watching my mom watch the debate a little bit, and she's sitting there like Vance would be like he as soon as they'd go to him like, Senator Vance, Well, my mom like, boo! It's like, come on, like, it's like,
like like it's wrestling.
yeah, that's it.
That's what
It's
my
WWF.
I got a friend and he works at a one of these delivery companies. And he said that they had the debate on when it was Kamala and Trump. And all the people there, as soon as Kamala would start talking, they'd be like, lies, she's lying, that's not true. And then when Trump would start talking, it'd be like, see, no, he's right, man. Like that's
Yeah.
what's happening. And it's like, dude, like it's just I don't
It's
know.
like us in that bar the other night watching football, and it depends on what team you're going for. It's like the refs are either that's why the moderators sometimes, I get it. Some of these moderators might seem a little biased, but and clearly so in some cases. But that's what we feel like. Oh, these officials, Trump's not gonna win. Oh, here we go. It's like there's three people on that stage tonight on for the Democrats. Only one Republican tonight.
Hey, you can't deny though that that little zinger that bitch threw in though. Why?
Thank
Why?
you
That
for
my only thing
explaining the
was
legal process to us.
okay, cut them off, whatever. Like those are the rules. But why do you gotta interject your little like jab when you're
Because she
supposed to be
caused it.
impartial? And that's the shit that pisses me off.
Because she took
She
it personal, man. She told Vance to shut the fuck up and he kept
Yeah,
on
but
going.
the thing is, in that case, I'm not gonna get laid for a week for saying this, but she pulled the woman bullshit, right? Where she makes a comment, she provoked it, she poked him, and then when he backhanded her, he's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. She's like, oh no, cut his microphone. You don't talk to me. And then she got sassy on him, and then she had to get that last lick in. You know how it is,
No,
like
no,
when a
no.
guy
See,
walks
see,
away?
you unless I'm remembering it wrong, Walt said something and he finished talking, and then that was it. And they're like, okay, we got more to go to. And then Vance
No,
started talking. No, Vance started talking, and she's like, we're out of time. We're out of time. We got a lot of topics to get to. And he kept on going.
No.
Oh,
no, because
I'm going to look up that he
yeah,
kept on
no. What
going.
happened is Waltz finished, and as she was moving to the next topic, she added on to it. She's like, "Thank you, Mr. Waltz," because of course we know that the such and such didn't happen the way it was. So going to center, and that's when it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I gotta. She elaborated on at the end of what Walt said, and she added an extra little something where Walt was like, and that's why the Republicans they don't want to do anything about starving children in Africa or whatever. Well, unless they want that's because Republicans, thank you, Senator Waltz. Republicans are usually racist when it comes to black people. So Senator Vance, and he was like, whoa, he's like that he had to explain because she said it was like just like Bill such and such, like whatever. And he was like, no, let me tell you, there's a this is how it worked. I couldn't do anything because I had to do this. She tried to she wanted it to stand on Walt saying something and then tie it to Vance not but she added it. Waltz finished and she added on to it to make sure people connected it with Vance not being able to do something like he promised. She took that she created an extra step.
And then
She didn't
Vance
let him
tried to
finish
explain
though.
it, and she let him finish his explanation.
No, she was
And
trying to move
then
on.
she said
She didn't let
very
him finish.
politely,
She didn't let
"Thank
him finish
you."
though.
She
That was
said,
the whole
"Thank
purpose.
you." She said,
Listen to
"Thank you
Juan's
for your
reconstruction.
legal expert."
He's
What she said, "Thank you." She was polite. She she didn't cut. You know when she cut off the mics when Wall started talking.
No, you're talking about a totally different part of the debate there. That's not the part I'm talking about.
That's
no,
what
The
I'm
part
talking.
I'm talking about
when she's like, "Thank you for explaining the legal process to us."
that's the part I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She,
that's the
she
event.
said thank you.
Yes.
She was very appreciative of Vance explaining the process to her. She didn't know it before. She made the
You guys,
comment. She made the
hold on.
comment.
Yeah.
Vance explained it to her. She's like, "Oh, I did not know that, Senator Vance.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah,
explaining
right.
the legal process to me."
You guys have children, and I'm sure you guys have asked You guys have gone whenever your kids have disagreements about something, and you've had to be the judicator and listen to both sides. What has happened? It's like People's Court, or whenever I watch black people get divorced on like Judge Joe Brown or whatever. It's always, no, Your Honor. I went over there and politely asked her if she could return my rake or if she's seen my cat. And I asked, and then I asked her also, I can smell something cooking deliciously in the back. And so that's when I asked, what are you cooking? And I realized it was my cat. No, no, no. This is not what happened, Your Honor. This is not what happened. She came over talking her shit. I never said anything. I said, please. You kicked my door down when you said, please. It's the same thing as like police officers. If they're like leaning on my back and they're like, they're spraying with mace. Please comply, sir.
Hey man,
Please, sir.
she can't help that you're gonna get all in your feelings about how she said thank you. Look, if you read this transcript back in court, it just says, "Thank you, Mr. Vance or Senator Vance, for your legal explanation." Simple thank you.
So
She can't help you're gonna get triggered.
See, but you're just giving the right more ammunition when you do that shit, in my opinion. You're just energizing.
You're giving. Hold on. Here's the thing. You're giving both sides ammunition, right? You're giving the right the ammunition to say that it's biased, and you're giving the left ammunition to say, "See, Vance is a fucking idiot." Like, you're giving both sides ammunition. You guys are the ones that already said that everybody's made up their mind. So what does it matter?
But he's not. I don't know if that doesn't make him an idiot because he explained things and he got his mic.
No, I didn't say he was an idiot. I said you give the left the chance to say he's an idiot.
How would they say he's an idiot?
Because he doesn't. Because whenever she corrected him, she was trying to correct his statement on.
And he should have been quiet when a woman speaks. That's why he's an idiot.
Oh yeah, right away the left went into that he was trying to mansplain to her.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. So now you got the mansplaining. He also said that the Haitians were illegals, which that gives the left an opportunity to say he's a racist because technically they are not illegal. Technically they are legal here. But so again, it gives both sides ammunition. So I mean,
but I'm not talking about the content of what he said. I'm just talking about her little jab as a moderator is completely fucking uncalled for. Period.
Yeah,
do you remember years ago when Tim Duncan got ejected?
It's like the official talking about sports. It's like an official going in and showing obvious bias like in a game. You're gonna fucking complain as a fan because it's like
the Spurs got ejected from a game for laughing on the bench during a bad call. Remember, Joey Crawford it was a big thing. Joey Crawford was the official. He's always had beef with the Spurs, right? And he had a bad call, and he clearly made a bad call. But the people argued. He gave a tech. Tim Duncan went and sat out on the bench. He made another call, and Tim laughed like it was over. And he gave a technical to Tim and threw him out of the game for laughing at him. That's what it was. It was that situation where the referee let his feelings. The officials are supposed to be above letting their feelings get involved. Same thing we saw if you watch soccer when we saw the U.S. this past summer during Copa, right? Or was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, they are not going to give us the chance. America is not popular in South America, and you've got officials that are on record disliking America in every way, shape, and form, and it's well known. It's a well-known joke. In the who's officiating this game? Yeah, he's not going to give him. He's going to call everything against America. He doesn't like them. Even the other side knows. I think we were playing, like when we're like playing Mexico, and Mexico was like, "Yeah, you guys are screwed. That guy hates you." You know what I mean? Like when you have the other team.
So then America's got two choices there, right? It's known that they do this. Either don't play, or when you play, you already understand the bias. Don't complain. That's the same thing with Republicans, right? Same thing with Republicans. You already know ABC, CBS, and CNN lean left. You already know they fact-checked Trump last time. Just don't do the debate.
Well, then, but no, because then you get accused of being cowards and pussies for not showing up, like Trump now.
Yeah.
Oh, he don't want to
Okay,
do a
okay,
second
okay.
debate.
You'd be the
Listen,
first one. Juan
listen,
was out there calling. Weren't you calling Trump a pussy when he didn't want to? When it
listen.
seemed like he didn't want to debate Harris.
But listen, here's the thing though. Again, you guys are complaining about this when you've already said everybody's made up their mind. So who cares if I call Trump a pussy? You don't believe he's a pussy. You already made up your mind. The only person that would be affected by me calling Trump a pussy.
It's not. I don't care about the effect. I'm just talking about fairness and being impartial. Just because people have already made up their mind, it doesn't make it right. It
Well,
doesn't make it right.
I'm
It
worried about the effect
just
because
because
I'm
if
not.
just because you have the number one seed in college football playing the 1000th seed and they're gonna get blown out anyway, it doesn't mean the official gets to still side with the number one seed. Just they're gonna get blown out anyway. It doesn't matter. What does it matter? It's already no, dude. That's not the way it works. They're supposed to be impartial. Period.
Because you're right. My mind's already made up, or our minds are usually already made up, right? But the thing that is that where it does impact me is the fact that these stupid people out there who get in, manipulated by media on both sides or both sides, whatever. They get brainwashed into their herd mentalities. They're going to make their decisions based on nonsense like this, and their decisions will have an
No,
impact on
see,
me in the
you
long
can't
term.
do that. No, see, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, first off, let me caveat this with, yeah, was she wrong? Yeah, she's supposed to be a moderator, impartial. My position here is, why does anybody give a shit and get mad about it? You just said that you care about
No,
it
I'm
because
not mad
hold
about
on,
it
hold on,
about
hold on,
that.
hold on. You just said that you care because it's going to make this guy think a certain way. You guys last week or the week before argued with me that everybody has made up their mind and that there's no such thing as an undecided voter.
Well, that was me.
So, no, Kevin did too. Kevin said that there's no such thing. He said it in our chats. There's no such thing as an undecided voter. So, yeah, should she be impartial? Yes. But when she wasn't, why is everybody bent out of shape? Who cares? It didn't change any minds, according to you guys.
That's Kevin's argument. That's not my argument.
But undecided voters with their minds made up doesn't mean there aren't a few people who can't have their minds changed, right? And even if you are going to have that system, you can still have, like Beto said, the pretense of, like, at least let's not make it obvious that it's bullshit, right? Let's at least give ourselves a chance
No,
to
man, those same people arguing that bullshit are the people that say that the NFL already picked their fucking Super Bowl champions, and then every fucking weekend they're stuck and glued to the fucking TV and then bitching that their team didn't win. The same fucking people. Either rigged or not. If it's rigged, then fucking just stop watching it.
See, but if it doesn't matter,
no, because wrestling is rigged and people still,
Yeah, but wrestling people know it's rigged though.
they know
but
it's
it's
rigged. It's
fun.
a soap opera.
Yeah, it's a rigged soap opera. That's what it is.
That's the point. TV's rigged. The good guys win, the bad guys lose, right? That's how it always works out.
Just to reiterate, I'm not arguing that it changed minds. It just aggravates me the continued bias because it's not just that one incident. It's just a continuation of the same shit, and the whole reason why I said it time and time again that I fucking hate the left because of that bullshit. It's all this like the team, right? The left. It's the team. Like we're all gonna be we're gonna show bias blatantly now. Like now it's just out in the open.
But it's
Like for
always
everybody,
been
it
out in
doesn't
the
fucking
open. Like,
matter.
no, it's always been out in the open. Why do you think Kamala did not agree to a debate on Fox News?
No, I'm talking about.
Yeah, nobody called her a coward for it.
That's
Well,
what I'm
other
saying.
than the
Like,
right.
Well, you can't because then then you're sexist
why did Trump not agree to a second debate? Why did Trump just pull out of the CBS interview?
because he's good at pulling out. That's why he doesn't have that many kids.
Because he knows that they're going to be biased. It was the same thing at the debate. He went into the debate knowing that we're going to be biased. So don't fucking agree to it and stop bitching about it. You know, that's the same reason Kamala didn't do one on Fox, because she knows when she goes to Fox, she's
it
in the
doesn't make it
fucking
right.
snake pit.
It doesn't make it right, and that's my point.
Oh, Beto's taking the moral high ground on us. Is what he's doing.
Yeah, I didn't say it's right. I said if you already know this, just like those people that go into fucking football games thinking it's rigged, don't fucking watch. Don't complain about it. Like I didn't say it was right. Just if you truly believe Trump said it for fucking weeks before the debate, oh, it's gonna be rigged against me. Then why fucking watch it? Oh, it's gonna be rigged. You already think it's gonna be rigged. You already know it's gonna be rigged. Then you watch it and they're biased towards Kamala, and then you're pissed. Like you already fucking knew it.
I actually hope that it's not biased.
Well, then I don't know what to tell you because we
But
all knew it was
that's
gonna be biased. It's CBS, man. It's ABC. It's CNN, MSNBC. They're all left-leaning news
yeah, but
agencies.
once in a while you get impartial people in there. Not both of the chicks weren't showing their bias, only the one.
I think what Beto means is that we at least we all have been around the block a couple of times. What you hope for is just finally just let us have something normal, right? It's never just a straight situation. It's always got to be biased one way or the other. I don't want Fox News to come in and be biased against Kamala. I'd like to
Exactly.
just see just one time a fair fight, right? I don't want the steel cage match. I don't want fucking folding chairs. I don't want managers in the corner bullshitting. I just want people to come out and have a straight up honorable. You know, we almost got it. Other than that moderator, because Waltz and Vance got the assignment. Even when they kind of disagreed with each other, they did so respect. I mean, there was a moment where Waltz brought up, in his, some other thing that he was there. Shit, I'm surprised he's not here on our podcast because that guy's been everywhere. He's in everything according to him last night. Like, when I was there, oh, remember that time? Like, shit. Next week we're gonna be sitting here when Javi edits it. We're gonna see like a fourth panel with Tim Waltz sitting there going, well, when I was in the debate, Beto, it's like when I was on your show last week, but when he said something about his son witnessing, someone at 17 witnessing somebody shoot somebody else or something, they witnessed gun violence on like a volleyball court or something like that, and Vance didn't go and be like bullshit, prove it. When this shit happened, you tell it. He didn't challenge it. He didn't say anything. He said his first response was, "I'm sorry to hear that." And I do think
So
that there's some things we can do about gun. And his answer for like gun, like he won't get credit from the left, and he might even get attacked by his own people on the right for it. But I think Vance's like response to that was as good as it gets.
that brings me
We
to
got to
another
have some measures.
that brings
You
me
got
to
to do
another
something.
question on the debate. Do you think, and I don't think so because I don't think the debate was highly watched, but do you think people, because we're talking about this in a way that we're like, man, this was nice. We enjoyed the civility, we enjoyed the an actual debate, not just fucking yelling across the aisle.
Yeah.
Do you think that does anything for Trump, like as far as hurting him? Like, are people like, you know what? Maybe it is time to move past the whole Trump era and get back to like, look, man, I wasn't a fan of JD Vance, but when I watched him last night, I enjoyed that. I even thought to myself, if this guy was a guy running, I might vote
You
Republican.
just told us last night that he was too polished.
No, again, but that's what
No,
I'm trying to tell you guys. We enjoyed it. But just like Kevin said, people are saying one, it was boring. Two, I think that's what people want right now. They want that anti-establishment. I don't want that. But what people want is that's what I was talking about JD Vance. Not that I didn't like what he was saying or he was behaving. That to the masses, he's going to appear too political, too smooth. Like, and that's what I think would that's what I think hurt him on the debate. Because if you saw the exit or the polls afterwards, the flash polls and shit, he didn't completely crush Walls. It was still kind of close. And I think the reason was because people don't like that Washington politician type. They
and
would
that's
rather
a good
have Waltz who
question.
fumbles, you know what I'm saying?
and you raise a good question because I didn't think about it from that angle, but the one thing about we were saying like it was nice, right? And I agree. Like should we start examining or does this say anything about the Trump era of politics where like or the Obama era? Like I get there's something for the there's something to a bombastic sort of character, right? That like, yeah, I say what I want. Joe Biden brings the same, well, used to bring the same energy when he was alive, right? But like as opposed to Obama. Do you guys remember that was it during Obama's presidency where Biden had ended up having that? I think he was. People made like a whole thing out of him, out of Biden being like a giant Muppet, angry Muppet. You remember that vaguely? I think it might have been against Sarah. Um, it might have
Haley?
been no Sarah. Yeah, it may have been during that, but where he was like rah, rah, cutting her off and really aggressive. Him and Trump, he raised that same. I don't take this old rhetoric bearers versus the smooth talkers, right? The calm dudes like Obama has Riz. I felt like JD Vance had Riz last night. I felt that Waltz had a certain level of at least honorable old guy, right? Like Waltz came across as a dude that he sounds like a next door neighbor to me who I'd go out front and have a beer on his porch with him and we'd be just cool. You know what I mean? Like the politics, but I don't know if that means that like people don't want it because, like you said, people didn't watch, or they said now you say he's too smooth and too polished, for the right. But would the left look at it and go, you know what? I could almost get down with a dude like this.
Yeah, I just
Like
wonder if independents looked at this and went, "Man, this was great. This was good. This is what
if we had
America
these
needs."
two
What
instead,
independence?
Well, I
The
believe there's
unicorns?
independence. I believe there's independence. You guys are the guys that don't believe it. I believe there's still people in the
Show me.
middle.
I'd like to see this independent. Can you
I,
can
I'm
you
not,
bring
I'm right here. Like I already said,
no, no, come on. No, I
you
mean
would
like really.
never you would
huh?
never vote for Trump.
I
You already established you hate Trump
correct. I
hard,
would never vote for Trump, and I'm not going to
and
vote
you're
for
not
Kamala. But
independent.
I
So
just
your
said
mind
that
is made up.
no. If I
Your mind
well
is made up.
for this election, yes.
Okay, so you're not an independent.
But yes, I am an independent because I have flipped. Like if Nikki Haley would have been there, she probably would have got my vote. And I just said,
Yeah, but
had
we're
these
talking about
hold on, I just
this.
said if these two gentlemen right here were the competition at the top of the ticket, I just said I would consider voting for Vance over Waltz. Like I am that guy. Like I would. I am an independent that does not have somebody on the ticket this year. An
I,
independent doesn't have to vote. That's independent,
I'm
right?
sure.
I don't have to.
I'm talking. So, okay, so when we talk independence, we're obviously talking in the now. Right now, in this election, with the current candidates, you're not an independent. Your mind is made up. There's nothing that's
My
going to
mind is
sway
made up.
you.
I'm not going to vote. You are correct.
You're nothing is going to
Oh,
sway
but
you one
I
way
get it.
or the other at this point
But
in time.
again, but my point was a hypothetical that if these two guys do independents look at last night and go, if these two guys were at the top of the ticket, I could be swayed to vote. I'm not
I
talking
get
about
that.
right now. I'm talking about people who are in the middle and who could be
But,
swayed to either side. Are those people like me? Like I really did think this
I
last
know we
night.
don't
I'm like,
disagree with you. We said this last time. Was Kevin made the point himself? Was if you got brand new candidates that
amen.
nobody knew, yes, you could be swayed. But when you have existing,
Why are you a Kevin? Like if you're agreeing with me, why are you yelling at me?
because you're still trying to prove a point that we're not arguing, though. We're not arguing that point. We understand. We get it. We
You are
agree.
arguing that point because I started off with a hypothetical and then you told me that's not true.
No. Yeah, but I'm saying that there is no in general, the independent is a unicorn when you get to this anywhere near the election already. The independent it doesn't exist. By that time, the
But
candidates
but
are so
but
well
there
known.
I get it, but there are independents that you're still an independent. I'm just an independent that's not going to choose this time. Independent means I can go either way. That's
Right.
what it means. Like it doesn't mean I have to fucking vote or not vote this election. It just means I can go either way. This election, I'm going to stay in the middle and not vote for anybody. But the next election, should some of these people that I saw last night run, I would consider running or going. Kind of like when Trump was running. Like I like the idea of Jeb Bush because he was just like, like honorable. He was, I don't know how to even fucking describe it anymore. Maybe the old school politician, the old school conservative. I don't know. That's what I personally want. I want an old school conservative.
See, I think the confusion too, like everything, is the definition of things. Like we call certain things being like what defines an independent? Because in by Juan's definition, I guess I'm the same thing then. Because I'm not I have no intention of voting for either person in the race. It's just that when it comes to saying independent, I feel like that's more of an open-mindedness than a closed one. Like, I don't consider myself an independent because I've rejected both parties. But if I was open to maybe I vote for this guy, maybe I vote for this guy. I'm just trying to like if it's a Chinese menu. Do I want dim sum? Do I want, lo mein with beef? I haven't decided yet. That to me feels like an independent. But a lot of people that claim to be independents, I also don't think that I think they're doing it for show as more than anything. That it's not that I don't think they exist. I just think that I can't trust it because it's like those panels we saw after the
I
the
I
debate
think it's a
last night
cop
where the
out.
guy's like, I'm still independent and trying to decide. And you know, as a 45-year-old white male, gay, middle class
okay then,
teacher in
and
San
then tell me
Francisco.
who. Tell me who I would vote for, okay? Because here's what I believe.
No, I'm saying I agree with you.
I'm just saying, like Beto said, it's a cop out, and you guys said that's not really an
No,
independence, not really somebody. Whatever.
no, I was
Here's the thing:
saying
who would I vote
I
for?
agree with you under your definition when I frame it that way. That when I look at it,
Who would I vote for if, for example, I believe in trans rights, but I don't think that trans should be able to use the same bathroom as cisgender, as they call it?
Republicans,
Who would I vote for if
Republicans,
I believe in free college, free tuition for certain fields and certain individuals? Who would I
Bernie
vote for
Sanders.
if I believe in immigration
conservatives,
reform, but not just deporting random people and using the border patrol as almost an authoritarian view? Who would I vote
conservatives,
for if I believe in free health care?
conservatives.
But no, that's not true. That is absolutely not
It's
true.
definitely true because
You
all of
know,
those things can be resolved within either a state system or from a business perspective. The capitalist system will resolve
but
itself.
they can also be
Companies,
resolved at the federal level.
no, but federal just forces people to do it. And it may not be so they want a one size fits all solution. The right
But
offers you find the solution that fits best for you and doesn't have to apply to everybody else.
but I kind of agree with Waltz last night, where he said abortion should be a nationally mandated thing.
Yeah, but that's because Waltz believes that it should be a nationally mandated thing. But he's also a professed Catholic who believes in the sanctity of life. So he's bullshitting. You can't have it both ways on that. You can't be like, oh, my faith is the most important thing in the world to me. God, and let me tell you my favorite Bible scriptures. When the Lord said,
Yeah, but
but no,
Kevin,
no, no. And then you
no,
can't
no,
turn around
because
and be like,
Catholics and
well, if
Catholics
people want to kill babies, they got to kill babies.
Catholics also executed the Inquisition. Like, so what you're saying is, well, nope, nope. If you're a Catholic,
Well,
you gotta
hey,
go out there and kill Jews unless they convert. Like,
hey,
people change, religion
no,
changes,
but what I'm saying is, if
views
you're
No, but
change.
gonna,
Catholicism still doesn't allow for abortions, though, and he's saying that that's his most important thing.
my thing is, if you're gonna claim something, no, nobody's claiming the Inquisition. I would condemn the Inquisition right along with everything else. Nobody's saying, oh, that was a good thing. We needed the Inquisition. Just like Catholics were awful, strangely silent
Well,
on the
yeah, but
subject
but what you're
of
saying is that
slavery
back during
too.
the Inquisition, what you're saying is back to the Inquisition. If there was somebody who said, "No, this doesn't sound right that we're torturing Jews," you would have been like, "That guy's not a good Catholic."
Well, my thing is, if he's claiming though that his Catholic beliefs and his Catholic faith make him, like the right choice for king, prince, or duke, or whatever the hell it is, no. Because again, it's an integrity issue for me. You can't claim to be something. I would respect you more if you know, or at least if he said something like, you know what, I'm a Catholic and I can't. I understand that some people on my side would like a federal option, but I personally cannot abide it. At least you can say that. But it's not even that. He said, I believe it's a one size fits all solution. Again, this is where we reach these impasses we were talking about between people where they can't come together and just let people, you know, like they can't come together because it's got to be all or nothing. You got to have a whole federal system. Why can't you let it just be at the states level? The state, you still get what you want. California
Because
can
then because
California
then
can make abortions on every corner legal. You can just walk in and get them like a tattoo if you want to. They
yeah,
can do that.
but then you can't have, let's say, somebody from Brownsville, Texas, a
See,
poor kid from Brownsville.
this is that one if
No, it's not the one incident. And
1%
hold on.
scenario.
And even if it is a 1%, who gives a shit if it's 1%? It's just like saying school shootings, we don't need to do shit about it because they don't happen very often. It's only 1% of kids. That's a bullshit excuse, man. Look, it's a
No, you're back at the impasse. You're one
I'm not at
100%.
the no, I don't.
100% option. That's what you're saying.
That's not true.
Who
That's
cares
not
about
true.
the
See,
1%?
that's the problem, that you can't accept that there is a solution nationally. You are the one that's only all or nothing. States or nothing is what you're saying.
There should
You
never
can't
be
accept.
a one.
No, you can't accept that nationally we can have an abortion.
Because no, I don't believe
Exactly.
that you
See,
need a
you
national
can't
system.
accept it.
No, yeah. I will admit that then. I don't believe you need a one size fits all solution for everything.
But
I don't buy one size fits all underwear, right? I believe that everybody should have their own size of underwear.
But I didn't
And I think
say
people
I
should
didn't
have an
again.
option.
You didn't even let me.
Yeah, but the thing is,
You know,
you're
see,
saying
you're
a
not.
national
You are
solution means
not letting.
everybody go
You
along.
are so fucking set in your ways, just like those politicians, that you can't even let
I'm
me
not
get
set
a
in my ways.
word
I
in.
just want options.
You can't even let me get a word in. It has
I
to
just
be
want options.
states because there's no other option.
Yeah, because the other option is everybody gets forced to one option. That's it.
That's
You
not
get
true.
choice or no choice. That's what you're
absolutely
saying.
not true.
That's absolutely true. It's you're saying
Are you
driving
gonna
the
let
car,
me
right?
talk or no?
Okay, go ahead. Let's see how it's not true.
Why can't you have a national abortion law that allows abortions for the three main things that even Trump's agree with, right? Rape, incest, and life. And then
Because what if so what
and then from
because what
there,
if one state doesn't want that? What if some people don't want any abortion whatsoever?
again,
They have a right to that,
Kevin,
right?
stop, bud. Again, Kevin, if you don't want a fucking abortion, if I don't, McDonald's is legal in every fucking state. If I don't want to go eat McDonald's, I don't have to. I'm not, nobody's coming over and taking a fucking baby out of my vagina.
It's true.
It's a
But some people
fucking
don't want any
national
of that.
law that allows people that need that abortion in Brownsville, Texas, to not have to travel to fucking California because they can't afford it. Nobody's saying everybody in Texas now has to have one abortion per fucking year. Again, don't fucking, if you don't believe in abortions, don't fucking have them. It's your choice. But to completely strip that choice, now you're forcing people. By putting that choice there, you're not forcing anybody. By taking that choice away, you are forcing people. Because now I
But you're
don't have a
giving
choice.
options to people that
Well, the
see,
dad doesn't have
you're-
a choice.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we've talked about that before. I believe the dad should have a choice. What does that have to do with what I'm talking about? Yeah, the dad should have a choice, Beto. Good point.
That's all I'm saying.
But what about the people who just don't want anybody to die? This is my point. You were just talking about how the 1% matters, right? Well, what about the 1% of people who don't want any babies to be killed on behalf of whatever somebody else's decision is? They want to that all life is sacred. Now you've excluded them, so you're going to exclude somebody. That's my point. In the long run, I actually agree with you.
So on this
I don't give a
national
shit. Let people just
on this national
decide.
abortion would allowance, would there be a time constraint?
See, this is where we get to the whole, why can't people fucking work together, right? There's got to be a solution where you can come up with all the science we have, come up with a place of like, you know what? Nah, man, that's fucking bullshit. The baby's already viable whenever they're viable, something like that. Like, dude, that's fucking bullshit at this point. Yeah, I believe in limits. Like, you can't just be aborting whenever the fuck you want. And also, if you're aborting, it has to be done like when you first find out. Like, You can't be a victim of rape or a victim of incest and wait 7 months and be like, oh, now I don't want it. It's like at that point, it's a baby. Like if that baby was born, it's a baby. So yeah, I have my beliefs in life as well, right? But
But
you
the other part that I've always been kind of on the fence about, and the reason I can never truly make up my mind about abortion is where do the dad's rights stop?
correct. I do firmly believe, just like, and that's why I said like
And I'm not
that doesn't have anything to do with what I was arguing, because I firmly believe that fathers are part of that. I get it, it's a woman's body. I understand, and I know I'm gonna get shit for it if we ever had fans and they find this video, but a father is also the father of that child.
exactly.
That father should have his own rights as well, because that is a living child at a certain point.
Here's the thing too with the national system problem. Like I said, the problem with national idea is that national always means one side gets their way, and then you never have a recourse back, right? Because you're saying, well, why not have it and allow these three exceptions? Well, are you saying let's allow abortion only in those three cases, or just whenever you want to get them? And then that's where people argue. So then you have to argue about that. But then let's say they find a way to allow it. You allow these exceptions in for
So,
situations,
so how come the
and then you
Second
want to,
Amendment
but
has
then
to
you
be
get to the
national?
argument of, but then you get to the argument of, like Beto said, the time length, right? And once you set stuff in stone with the federal government, it gets impossible. It becomes an issue of
Okay,
contention.
I'll give you
How do
that.
you make alterations? You can't, unless you leave some sort of option to say, once we pass this, if we disagree on an issue, it becomes nullified until we
I'll look.
re-agree
I'll,
on it.
I'll give you all that. Why does the Second Amendment have to be national?
That was made in the constitutional amendment.
Oh yeah, there's no way to amend an amendment. I mean, we've had
Well, I mean,
amendments
you
that have been
could.
rescinded before, right?
We could.
Okay, so
I
so
don't
so
know.
the
Okay,
fact that
we
it's in
could.
the
We could do.
Constitution has nothing to do with this. Why do we have a national gun law? Why can't that be in the states, like abortion?
I would agree with that. Give it to states.
All right,
Turn it over to states.
I don't
as long as you're
see
consistent.
I can't right now see any reason why not.
Why not? Well, I say give it to states.
Because then you
I
take
let all the gun.
because then you take away the right of somebody in California to own a weapon.
I mean, they'd probably be okay with it at this point.
Yeah,
No,
they're not going to fight you on that, or they could move.
As
Like
a
you said,
state, the state as a
go
whole is
live
not going to
around
fight
where
you on
you
it.
want. It's
see that
affirmative action. I'm the same way with affirmative action.
I don't like the whole then you can move thing, because not everybody can move. That is such a
But you're
fucking
doing the
cop
same
out.
thing at the national level, though. You're still whether you're forcing somebody at the state or the national, you're still forcing.
What forcing what though?
Whatever you're forcing upon you, you're saying keep stuff at a national level. You're still forcing shit down people's throats versus
No, but
whether you do it at the national.
what I'm
I'm not
saying is
agreeing
that
or disagreeing with you with the
what I'm
abortion thing. I'm just saying when you have a national something, a national law versus a state law versus a county, regardless, you're
well,
still
yeah, I mean it's
forcing it at
still a
some
law,
level.
right? It's still a law. But what I'm saying is that if guns work at the national level, because there is an amendment that says you are free to own weapons, right? And states can then have their own stricter gun laws, but you can still own a gun. Why can't we do that with abortion? Abortion is, hold on, let me finish. Abortion is legal across the entire country for these three things up to this period of time. And
But
after that,
isn't that kind of what Trump like the whole Roe v. Wade going away? I mean, that's exactly you're basically saying the same thing as pass it down to the
no,
states.
because no, what I'm saying is that states can then have their own laws, but they cannot ban abortion for those three things. Those three things are there. That time limit is there. You can pass other abortion things if you want to. Like you can say, like,
So you're.
you cannot
So
get an
let me understand what
abortion
you're saying.
just you can say you cannot get an abortion just as a reproductive treatment. But you're
Or as
still
a
protected
contraceptive.
for those three things. That's the same as
So
guns.
you're saying
Everybody can have guns.
they should have that you're saying that they should pass a national law that allows for abortion, but the states can decide how much latitude exists within those abortions.
Correct. Except the only thing that's protected is you can have an abortion up to this time frame for these 3 things. That right is protected. Everything else, like I said, like if Texas says, look, man, you can't just come in for an abortion just because you got drunk and had sex.
Couldn't anyone
Okay.
claim rape though?
Well, yeah, but you have to have a victim or somebody at that point. I mean, I
Not
don't know. Look,
necessarily.
I really don't know. I can't. If we try to sit here and
Then it
talk
goes
about the
into
details,
then it goes with the father's rights, right? That situation.
I,
Well,
So I
no.
I'm
Well,
just
what's to
saying, like,
stop? I'm just saying, what's to
no,
stop somebody from saying, "Hey, I was raped. I have no idea who this guy was.
yeah, you're
I
absolutely
never."
correct. Absolutely correct.
DNA.
However, I don't have the answer to that detail, right? Because those are the things that you start getting to the what ifs, what ifs, what ifs. Okay, we can go down that rabbit hole. This is what I'm talking about. Smart people coming up with these laws and in Congress or wherever they're at. You can have smart people that go, okay, here's what we're gonna do. This is the standard. These 3 things, term limits, everybody has a right to it. Then Beto comes in as one of the people there. What if people just start claiming rape? Okay, well, then we need to have this. There needs to have been a reported rape, a rape kit, and all that kind of stuff in place. I don't know. Maybe that's how we go. I don't know. I'm not the expert, right? If I was an expert, I think I'd be
Actually, I
working
think it's a
somewhere else.
good idea.
But
I think you have a good idea there, and I think what you could do, I would require some sort of language that says once this is in place, it cannot be altered by either side to be modified so that they can gain a certain type of advantage, right? Like it can't be we started like anything after 6 weeks, right? Can't be you can't you can have an abortion only up to 6 or 8 weeks. You cannot go past that point. And they can't come back and be like, we need to change it for women's. No, 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 no. We agreed
exactly,
that it
yes,
stops here. Or adding some new fantasy situation to where, like, well, what if I decide I'm going to be a trans man now? I need to have it removed, or something else down the line. Once you set that federal one in stone, also there needs to be a federal mandate in there that states the state has the final right except for these 3 things. And I think if you do that, I think that works.
yeah,
And
and
I
that's why
honestly
you
don't
and
think
that's
anybody would disagree.
exactly, and that's where you get that scenario in Texas that I brought up. A girl from Brownsville gets raped. She can get an abortion there. A girl from Brownsville decides that she's just gonna freaking have sex without any protection on. Well, now you got to
That's
travel
all of
somewhere
them.
else. That was on you. That was all under your control. Now you have to travel somewhere else because Texas doesn't allow abortion just because.
Trump, you got to do this one. We got it. We figured it out. There, we did it on this podcast. It took us an hour and 13 minutes. No, we're not paid for this. We didn't get elected to it. We figured it out in an hour and 13 minutes. You know why? Because we sat back and we said, "Hey, what are your issues?" Okay, I see your concern. We talked it out. We don't have to spend 14 fucking months
See,
like
but let's
debating.
so
Nobody's adding no fee
one
in
last
there.
one last point on that. You keep talking about smart. You guys keep talking about getting smart people in there. We finally have a guy that's willing to get some smart people in there, but you guys refuse to vote for him. Let's get Musk in there. Let's get RFK in there. Let's get some of these smart guys. No, Trump,
But
bad.
the thing is that
No,
again,
no. Here's the
That's my last
problem.
point.
Here's the problem. It's Trump is the problem with
It
that.
doesn't matter.
Trump's
You
the problem in
hey,
that scenario
we've said
because
this.
I
Juan,
can't trust
we've
that
agreed
Trump
to
will
this
do
point
the
before.
right thing.
Sometimes you got to take the good in with the
no,
bad.
no, but okay,
And
so
you
we'll
agree
take
to that.
okay, so we'll take Beto's thing where you said sometimes you can only trust what people say, right? What Van said last night is that they can't trust the experts because the experts have been wrong before. Trump only trusts himself, and so he's going to do whatever he wants to do. That's been proven because of what Van said last night, according to you.
And everybody who previously has worked in his previous administration has basically said the guy does what he wants. We can't talk to him.
Not only that,
They asked Vince.
but I have said it. If Trump truly gets into office, let's say he wins, right? And he really does take this group of people and listens to what they're suggesting, and this group of people, there's also another, and they really do try to solve the issue, not just put their agenda in line. If they really do try to solve the issue, I will vote for J.D. Vance when he's up for nomination. If he becomes a Republican nominee, I will, because they have proven to me, you know what? We're done with the bullshit. We're going to work together and we're going to pass these things. If he does that, I will support Trump. I will say, you know what? I made a mistake.
It's too
This
late by
dude
then.
is a good president.
It's too late by then because you can't vote for him anymore.
It's not too late because that doesn't matter in New York. Kamala's going to win here.
Yeah, but if
Not
if
only
there
that,
was
but Trump is gonna
100,000
make
of you that
if
think
Trump wins,
if there was 100,000 of you, 2, 3, 400,000 of you that think the same way, that's why it doesn't matter. It's the
if
complacency.
but if Trump wins, right, he's gonna make himself king. So we'll get the long-term benefits because he's trying to figure out a way that he can get himself a third and fourth and permanent. Isn't that what they say? That he'd love to be permanent president?
Hey, Beto, by the way, Biden won New York by 2 million votes. So no, it wouldn't take 300,000 of us.
Well, but those 300 might influence 2 more people, and then it's like a disease, right? Like everybody kept.
Look, here's the thing. Like I've told you before, though. Look, I is it cool that Trump is going to hire these people and put them? Yeah, but until then, he hasn't shown me that he's actually going to do this. That's where I become a cynic. That's why I don't believe any politician when they say, I'm going to do this. If Biden would have actually done what he promised, then I could have been like, if I agreed with his policies, I could have said like, well, he did it.
Well, that argument might hold weight if if in 2016 he would have said, I'm going to hire so and so and so and so and so and so, and he didn't hire them. Then I could see your argument. But the fact that that has not happened.
Yeah, but in the last election, they were also arguing because he was trying to court that Tea Party vote. He was arguing that he was not going to increase the deficit. And guess what happened? That shit fucking ballooned even before COVID. So, yeah, I can't say, no, I don't believe what Trump says he's going to do. Just like I don't believe Biden, and I don't believe Kamala, and I don't believe J.D. Vance, and I don't believe any of these fuckers until they show me
by that logic, you'll never vote again for the rest of your life.
That's not true. Reagan did a lot of cool stuff.
Who?
Reagan.
They all, even he fucking lied.
No, I'm not saying don't lie. I'm not saying don't lie to me. I'm saying work to actually pass something. And I think that's why people
don't lie to me. I get that people lie, but sometimes lies happen. I get it. It's just the way it is, human nature. But don't intentionally lie. And if you get caught, you're caught.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
If a woman lies to me, she's done. There's no, oh well, everybody lies. No, if I catch you lying,
I'm saying they all lie. They've all been caught lying. They all will forever continue to lie. Politicians will, for the rest of your life, continue to lie and continue to get caught. So all I'm saying is, by that logic, you'll never again vote.
But there's a difference between lying and promising certain policy, fiscal policy.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. They all promise shit that they don't ever do or deliver on. They all. That's
not true. During the Clinton years, Clinton promised a lower deficit, and the Republicans promised not to pass any more raises to the deficit. And guess what? During the Clinton years, we had an actual deficit. Like we had actual money.
I'm not saying back. They never passed anything. I'm saying there was stuff that he promised that he didn't do.
Correct. But in overall policy is what I'm talking about. Like, okay, Trump says that,
So you're saying Trump's overall policies, he got nothing done.
No, I didn't say that. What I said is that the fiscal policy Trump came in with, which is what I am concerned about. Right.
Oh, so you're just talking strictly fiscal policy, nothing else.
I'm talking strictly what matters to me as a voter, right? What matters to me as a voter? He's asking for my vote, so I get to vote with what I believe and what I want to believe in. Like, if I don't give a shit about if you get an abortion or not, that doesn't affect me whether you're for or against it, right? As a voter, it's my vote. So when Trump came in, and at that point, I was somewhat libertarian, and my thing was, I want somebody who is going to fucking fix the deficit. And he fucking ballooned it. He let me down on that. Why do I care if Trump passed anything good for business? I wasn't working for you back then. That doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to
Yeah.
vote for Trump because he's going to help small businesses. I don't have one. What I'm concerned about is a national deficit. He told me he was not going to spend it. The Republicans told me they were going to fight for lower budgets. And what happened? As soon as they got the chance, they spent more money. Fuck them all.
Yeah, now I'm broke as shit. See, that's the thing I think you forget, Beto. Yeah, you have a business, which I applaud you for, and you struggle hard for your business, and I respect that. I don't have a business, so all that small business shit don't matter to me. What matters to me is the
What
fact that
does
I
matter
haven't
to
had a
you?
raise
It
in
should matter to you because we're the ones that hire
no.
people.
What matters to me is I haven't had a raise in 5 years. That's what matters to me, and I could
Yeah,
go
because you're
elsewhere. But the
working for
problem
a
is,
large corporation, not a small business.
no, but I work for an industry that is set on its prices at this point. But the problem is, people at Starbucks have gone up $10, $12
So
an
go work at
hour in
Starbucks,
wages
dude.
in the past 6 or 7 years. You're right. I could go work at Starbucks. But what I'm saying is it's not an issue to you, but we all have different
Look,
opinions
if
of
I
how
have
the
an
issue.
employee and all I can afford to pay him is $20 an hour, and
You'll find somebody who will
and
work
he
for
comes and
$20 an
tells
hour.
me that, hey, McDonald's is paying 24, dude, go. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yes, they can
That's
do, and
all
they
I
can
can afford
go.
right now as a small business owner in this current state. Fucking go.
And that's why I say it's different for you. Because then, yes, I will have to go to McDonald's.
But you know
I'll
what?
have to suffer.
If I'm paying less in taxes, I'm probably giving my guys raises. I've tried to give all my guys raises every fucking year
And
for the
that's
last
why
6
I'm
or
on
7 years
that
that I've been
side.
in business. Juan can tell you, I try to give these guys raises as often as I can because I can and I want to. I want them to make
And that's why I'm on
my
your side
ultimate goal
too.
as a business is for my guys to be so well paid that they don't want to leave. But I can only
And
do
that's
as
why I'm
much
on
as I
your side
can,
as
right? I
well.
don't need anybody forcing me to do anything.
That's why I'm on your side too. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying we're coming from different angles. I don't really care about the thing about I don't really care about the effects of small business, right? Or effects on small business versus large business, but I do care about the way that it affects from the tax angle. Because, like Beto said, it's like when everybody keeps going after billionaires. These billionaires like Trump are not paying their fair share. I'm pretty sure along the way they're paying their fair share in something. We just don't see it. You don't see it on a nice big fat IRS check at the end of the year, or what it is we don't see them hurting.
Look at Elon
That's what
Musk.
it comes down to. You
He
got to,
paid the highest tax bill ever in fucking history, and he still gets shit. He still gets
well, the
shit
thing
for
is,
being a billionaire. You know,
well,
fuck
it's
that
the
guy
thing
for
about
being rich.
it's because it's not a when it comes to them talking about that, it's not about people paying their fair share. Really, it's about if we're suffering, they're suffering. But they never talk about how when we talk about taxes, right? Like who doesn't pay taxes? Well, people with kids get a much bigger refund than I do. I ain't got no kids. I'm not putting no burden on the system. It's just me,
I
baby.
actually don't
How come
agree.
my taxes aren't lower?
As a parent, I don't agree with the with me. I didn't used to agree with it when I was single, no kids, and I don't agree with it now. I take
Yeah,
advantage of
I
it
know
because
people
it's
that have
there.
I know people that have
Ooh,
4 kids
Beto's
and
gonna
no
run for
job.
president.
Yeah,
I take
I know
advantage.
people that have
Well, it's
4
like the
kids
whole.
and no job. They got 4 kids, no job, and they're getting money back at the end of the year for taxes.
I've said this
How am I
before.
paying
If it
more?
must be, then why not me? If the
Yeah.
government's gonna force me to pay into something, I'm gonna take advantage of it. But I'd rather not have it there in the first place.
No, you got to stand on principle.
And with
And on
that,
that note,
remember, vote Kamala, hurt Beto.
What's for lunch?
yeah, I really gotta go. I have a guy waiting for me downstairs, and not in a homo way.